wear a mask. The other requirement is that you've signed in. So who signed in when they got here? That's a little paper. Where's it at?
It's at the reception desk.
All the way to the reception desk now? Okay, so if you didn't sign in, we need you to sign in for tracking. In case somebody today happens to get sick in the next couple of days, we can reach out and let everybody know that, hey, this is happening, you might want to get tested. That's why we need that. So, welcome to our first live class since
Woo!
it's exciting. We've been looking forward to this day for quite a while. So there is lunch. So I think what we should do is everybody should get their lunch. And then let me just tell you quickly about Branden. So this is a 3-part series, by the way. I know you thought it was just one class, but it's actually 3 classes. The first one happens today. So get in your calendars and put next Wednesday at 4 is the next course, 4 to 6 next Wednesday. And then the Wednesday after that, so it should be easy, it's the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st. At the same time at 11:30, we'll have the last class. And it will be, today we're going to talk about prospecting, different techniques, different ways. Next Wednesday, we're going to take those techniques and those ways and we're going to put them into practice from 4 to 6. So we're going to actually have everybody in the office. We're going to keep track of appointments set. We're going to keep track of all the cool stuff that happens when you're actually prospecting, these different ways. And then on the Wednesday after that, it will be about lead follow-up. It will be about how to stay in touch with, how to communicate with these people as time goes on. Because not everyone's ready today, right? So we've got to have a system in place to get them when they are ready. So Branden's going to teach today. As many of you know, he's a top producing agent in our company. He's got a team. If anybody knows anything about prospecting, it's going to be Branden. And so do you want them to just kind of get lunch?
Yeah, so let's probably get lunch first, and then I'll make sure I call on everybody whose mouth is full. Okay. So, yeah.
So let's take it for the next 10 minutes. Everybody get your lunch because it's here now. I don't want it to get all, nasty.
Right?
So, but I'm going to like to sit now.
Okay. Plus, it also gives you a reason to take your mask off.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's the airplane secret.
Overdoing the. Is that what you do on an airplane?
Yeah, you just eat a peanut at a time. Yeah. Very slow.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, then you
That's
get
a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll be back. 10 minutes.
All right. cool with me starting, or did you have anything to add or anything before I go?
Say it again.
They're just wrapping up about the food. Did you have anything to add, or no. Go ahead, at it. You good?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, looks like everybody's got food. All right, my name is Branden Cinquegrani, realtor, sales manager here at Signature Real Estate Group. Have my own team. Going over prospecting today with everybody. First, I just want to say it is, I'm very excited to actually see faces in a group of people. So thanks everybody for actually coming out here, and I actually feel pretty good about getting in front of everybody and going through everything with you. So a couple things I'm gonna keep this an interactive class. You know, I think in sales in general, we need to be active, motivated. I'm sure there's a lot of type A personalities here that want to be outspoken. Please just have at it. I'm ready for you. Couple things, just to start this off for you guys. I put this up on the board. I think it's imperative in every agent and just pretty much everybody just in general. A goal without a plan is a dream. To make a dream reality, you need goals with a plan. Have a plan in place. If you don't have that plan in place, you will never succeed those goals and make that dream a reality. How many people know somebody that always says they're going to do something? I'm going to open up this business and I'm going to do this. And you hear that same thing forever. And it's just years of you hearing the same exact thing. They never put a plan in place and they never have a goal. Well, you guys are in real estate now. Everybody in here is a business owner. You might have dreams of doing and aspirations of doing something in this business, but if you don't put a plan in place, you will not achieve the goals to make that dream a reality. So this is very important. And then one of my favorite quotes, and everybody on my team knows this, I preach this all the time, and I always tell them, a good plan today is better than the perfect plan tomorrow. So how many perfectionists do we have in the room? Okay? Me too. One of my biggest struggles when I was a new agent is I wanted everything to be perfect. You know, I didn't want to cut corners. You know, I wanted everything just be perfect for my client. I wanted to be able to reach out. I wanted to have this, that. I need to have this type of marketing in this area, and I need to do this, and I'm going to have to spend this. Have a good plan today and execute. The problem is we get caught up on trying to keep that perfect plan in place, and there is no perfect plan. If you keep trying to make that perfect plan, nothing ever happens, and we just sit here. So, something everybody in this room, I'm asking you, make sure you have a plan in place and execute it every day. I'm sure you guys have heard other salespeople or even myself on sales calls when we have our meetings. You need to wake up every day motivated. Now, that's not easy for me. How many morning people do we have? All right, just a couple of you scary people. I have found myself to be a morning person now. I was not one by nature. I used to bartend. You bartend in Vegas. Your schedule is, I roll out of bed, it's about 3 p.m. I got to be at work at 4. I will be up till about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning and repeat. And, honestly, obviously in our business, that schedule doesn't work. So, but implementing a plan and making yourself a morning person will help you. So routines is something I'm going to touch on today. A couple other things I'm going to touch on. Here, let me get my little side notes here so I don't get off track with anything. I am also going to be helping everybody create a schedule. How many people have a schedule currently? Okay, so that's one of those things. I don't know if anybody went to college. It's probably your closest thing to, I'd say in regular world coming into this world. You go from high school, you got to be in there. Teacher tells you everything you need to do. As soon as you go to college, they're like, come in if you want. If you want to be here, you can. Real estate's the same way. Anybody clock in? Okay, me neither. But do I clock in with a company or do I clock in with myself? If you put something in your schedule, you need to do it. And it's kind of like if you want to lose weight, one of the things I did is, like I would go on a morning run. If you're going to do a morning run, it's so easy. As soon as my phone goes off, it's time to get up. Nope, 15 more minutes. I'm out. Goes off again. All right. I get out of bed. I do not want to go for a run. My mind, all I'm thinking right now is coffee. I still got to do this. I got to do that. And I keep writing all these excuses on why I don't need to go for a run. Now, mental cues for creating routine is one of the things that I learned and I love. If I'm going to go on a run in the morning, I put running shoes in front of my bed. So it's the first thing I see when I wake up. I roll out of bed. All right, let's just do it. If you just do it, I don't want to go full Shia LaBeouf on you guys, okay? But just do it, all right? That's all you need to do. You need to get out there and do it. Put on the shoes. Now I put on the shoes, I'm walking out my door. All right. Now, going down the street, got a little light jog going. Before you know it, light jog turns into a sprint. And I'm back in front of my door and it's done. It's the same thing with your guys' plan and your schedule. If you just do it, get on whatever that we're going to go down the prospecting lines, but whatever it works out to you, and I will make this work out to everybody in this room, you need to do it. Nobody can force you to do it but you. So just take the leap of faith and jump into it and make it happen. That's the only way to really be successful in this business. Does everybody know the secret to real estate? Plan? Okay. What I'll tell you what every top producer has in common. They all work. That's every single one of them. People are like, I know society thinks that all we do is we drive fancy cars and we show fancy houses and we get big checks. But obviously that's not the reality. Obviously, you can do that. But the hard work that goes into it, most people don't see. People ask me all the time, what's your secret? What are you doing to get business? Well, I work every day, and I don't try to say that derogatory or in some negative connotation to people, but I work. So I'm going to start going by different types of prospecting. So how many people have actually sold a house before? All right, good to see. Any new agents in here? All right, I'll pick on you. You too, back there? I'll pick on you too. No, great, I want you guys to learn. So you're getting a fresh taste of everything right now, which is great, because it's actually really important that you're getting this knowledge up front. So people who've had a client already, how did you get that client? I'm picking on you.
I had
A referral. Okay, perfect. Let me make sure there we go. All right. So was it from family, from a friend? Perfect. So your sphere of influence. Now, I will tell you right now, prospecting, that's my bread and butter. But I've also been in the business for many years. Now, I will tell you, the longer you're in this business, the larger this grows, as long as you take care of it. This is your gold in this business. But everything else we're going to teach you, especially if you're a new agent or back there, you need to build this. So friends, family, how many people actually have all their contacts saved to reach out to right now? Like a CRM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10. About half the class right now has that. Every single person in here needs that. If you don't have a CRM, that's okay. You don't need to buy one when you first start in the business. And I know Signature also provides one as well, where you can kind of, basically you need to start tracking every single person that you know. This is by far my favorite type of prospecting, because how easy was it for that referral? Very good. See, I told you I'd call you while you're eating. So, no, that's my favorite. That's actually, so I have my own team right now, and a lot of the prospecting that we have on here, I've done, and I've built my sphere of influence to where I'd say probably about 90% of my business is all referral based. Everything that I sell personally, not my team, is solely referral based. So if you actually implement the prospecting and put in that hard work and take care of your sphere of influence, all your business just keeps coming back to you, and those are always the easiest clients to work with. Anybody else? You got another way that you captured a client?
Cold calling a neighborhood.
Okay, so you cold called somebody and you got a client out of it. Did you get a seller or did you get a buyer?
Both.
You got both. Perfect. So cold calling. You back there? You had a client before, right? Yep. How did you get that client?
Like my very first one or
In
in general?
general.
I've got a referral.
You got a referral? Another referral based one? Okay. Does anybody have any that you didn't know this person and it wasn't personally referred to you? Bingo. Yeah.
How I did those first?
Yeah, where'd they come from?
Just talking to, like the waitress at meetings.
Okay, so you talked to a waitress. That's another good one right there. I'm actually going to put that under business cards and networking. All right, now obviously this one right now is, I will say, that one's a little difficult at the moment. Hopefully this is the beginning of that coming back. But that is something that you guys also want to do as well.
So I have a funny one I want to share just because it's really outrageous. But,
Okay.
I went to get a COVID test after the shutdown, so I got sick right away.
Uh-huh.
And I was negative.
Okay.
But the girl that was doing my COVID test, somehow we were talking and came up that I'm a realtor. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, I've been thinking about buying and that. So she didn't qualify at the time. This was like in May
Uh-huh.
or April. And then I'm actually in escrow with her right now. So I work with her.
Awesome.
To get her qualified.
Yeah.
Random, but
No, that's awesome. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to share a story that I had, and this is probably I would say this is probably my first, maybe not my first year, but maybe my first 18 months in the business. I had a problem with my car. I was driving my Volvo at the time. I went to the Volvo dealership. I had a conversation with the guy there, and I obviously told him I'm a realtor. I put him in a rental. When I went to Volvo, so here, I'm gonna get off subject here a little bit, but I'm glad you brought that up. So Volvo guy was my first rental lead. So he's just gonna get a little tiny dollar sign, okay? I went to Enterprise. Right after that, had to get a rental car. Obviously, I'm a realtor, need a car. So I went to Enterprise. The girl that I met at the counter, her name was Carly. Carly, she had a house to sell. Just out of the blue, gave her my card. Listed her house for sale. She then bought a house with me. She then sold that house with me. She then just sold that house again and bought another house with me. That's all the deals I just had at Carly. Well, hold on. Carly's mom also bought a house for me. Wait, hold on. Her best friend also bought land with me, a house with me, and 2 investment properties with me. How many people give out business cards? Okay. Do you guys let every single person you come into contact know that you're a realtor? You need to. That's your biggest moneymaker right there. How much did this cost me? Who buys leads? I do. It's okay. If you don't have to be embarrassed. You buy leads, okay. How much did this cost me? 10 cents on a business card? 25 cents? Carrying conversation? This right here, does anybody know what business we're in? We are in the relationship business. If you build those relationships, they all equal money. I mean, if I had that conversation, let's see. If I did not have that conversation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a dozen houses and 1 rental. But honestly, that's if you didn't have that conversation. So when you guys are going about your everyday and you're not letting somebody know that you're in real estate, then let it come naturally. How easy is it to inject your marketing in a regular conversation? It's pretty easy. People are really excited about your business. They make TV shows about it. People actually want to see, they're interested in what's going on with the housing market. Anybody hear about this pandemic thing that's going on right now? People want to know all the time, how's that going to affect the housing market, right? Well, and actually, I'm going to tie that right into something as well. And I started doing this when we actually had the shutdown. Offices were closed, the whole world shut down. Now, I did something, it might not have been totally advisable, but I really didn't want my team to get off track. And but I also maybe risked part of my marriage, I don't know, but she was actually really cool with it. I bought cubicles and I took out my entire living room and decked it out in cubicles, and I brought everybody from my team to my house because I could tell everybody was getting off track. Everything shut down. We're all wearing our PJs all day. The Uber guy knows us by our first name. Postmates, whoever, hey, it's you again. It was a rough time, and a lot of realtors even now haven't dug themselves out of that yet. And that's what I really want to push on you guys today, is we all need to dig out of that mindset. Prospecting is the bloodline to your business. Is everybody? Let's have everybody say that with me. Prospecting is the bloodline to my business. Okay? You guys that needs to be in your head every day when you wake up. How many people, and I will say this too, do we have agents in here who've sold 3 houses in 2 months? Do we have those? Okay. What tends to happen to our business when we're busy? It usually goes way up here, my sales, and then what happens to them? We didn't prospect. So scheduling also very imperative to when you guys are prospecting. Make yourself a schedule. Every day, what do you think is a good number to prospect? Anybody? Don't be shy. It's okay. It's just me. I was saying, how many hours a day do you think you should prospect? Or a week? A month? You guys tell me. I would agree with you. Yeah, 2.5 to 3 hours every day. Yep. I would say that. How many of us do 2.5 hours or 3 hours every day? Right. That's the problem. So if you schedule it, hold yourself accountable to it, or have a coach maybe hold you accountable to it as well. Or another colleague. You have many of them in this room with you who are going through the same struggles. Let's not work against each other. Let's work with each other. There's plenty of business. But one of those things is scheduling. I would schedule yourselves every day for a minimum of 2 hours. If you're not working, I'd say triple that up, 6 hours a day. Honestly, if you're not working with anybody, What else are you doing? We're just, you know, the next thing I'm going to go into at the marketing part is social media, right? People prospect on social media. Do I have any influencers in here? No? Any makeup tutorials or nothing? No? All right. Does anybody try to advertise on social media? All right. Everybody advertises on social media, right? How many of us effectively market on social media? Okay. Nobody raised their hand. That worries me. All right. So, do you think that might not be your best area to network in? So, one of my things is I'm not against technology at all, but you need to make technology work for you and not have it work against you. The biggest thing I know all the time, and I've been guilty of it too, so don't feel bad, but I'll go through the office and someone's on Facebook, and they might have went in there with the intention to market, but now they've been on just looking at pages for the last 45 minutes to an hour and got nothing else done. So you made a post for an hour's worth of work. Not worth it. Okay, does everybody know about schedule a post on Facebook? Everybody? Okay, so there's a way to schedule a post on your Facebook pages. Highly recommend doing that. And realize if you're surfing, go on there with a purpose. Hey, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to post this. Click off. I'm on to the next thing. It should only take you, how long does it take a Facebook post? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? If you're really not tech savvy, 15, 20? Not 45. So, but you got to start holding yourselves accountable to that. Hey, I need to move on to the next area of prospecting. So far for prospecting, I got sphere of influence, which I'm pretty much everybody in this room loves, but that one takes time to develop. Cold calling. How many people like cold calling? Uno, dos. Eh? 2.5. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Yeah, and I get that, and that's okay. And honestly, I will say, if you haven't tried cold calling, you need to try it. You need to try it, because most of us are intimidated to just get on a phone, because why? We hate. Does anybody in here just look forward to telemarketer calls? No? Nobody who does, right? All right. But I will say it does work. One of the things that I implemented, and if you guys want a copy of it, when I had everybody in my house, this actually came out probably like 3 or 4 months ago, but we kind of did a different version of this when we were under lockdown. But the biggest thing in here, and I'll kind of go over a basic script for you. I'll leave that up to Todd for his next class. This is 13 scripts to prospect with integrity during COVID-19. Hey, yeah, I noticed you haven't made your house payments. This lockdown's a B, huh? Yeah. No, that's not a good conversation to have. All right. So, but there is a way to reach out. One of the things I had my team do, and was very important, and you guys can still implement in this time, is you call your friends, your family, your past clients, and comfort them. Ask them how they're doing. That's the biggest thing. How are you is powerful. You can just say, how are you, and put the phone down, and they will keep going, and they'll just say what's going on in their lives. If you focus on them and not their property, a lot higher turnout of doing a cold call. Actually, I'm just going to read this off for you guys real quick. Hey, this is Branden. I just want to check in with you guys and see how you're doing. It sounds like you're feeling whatever their feeling is like, and I completely understand. How would you like to proceed? Here we go. Here's how we're handling showings currently. Our buyer activity is down by, back then it was probably 99%, but we're still averaging, five number of interest parties per property. Properties in your price range are still selling, and we're doing showings using what we call safe showing protocol. We've made everything digital for your safety, and homes are still getting offers. Now, I'm all for script reading. Everybody, when you do calls, do scripts. Make it your own. That's not my own. I just read that. But, but nonetheless, where that comes from is you're giving some information. I'm not hard selling you, and I'm trying to have somewhat of a heartfelt conversation with you. We are back again. We are in the relationship business, and you can develop those relationships by having those conversations with those potential clients. Now, I don't know if you guys start cold calling, you're going to realize I'd say a lot of the older audience is the ones that will be very responsive to you. Millennials don't partake as much because they're used to texting and they're used to, say a different form of contact rather than being talked to over the phone. But with that said, who's usually got a house to sell? Who's got cash to go buy a home? All those people on the phone with you. So have those conversations, and all you got to do is pick up the phone. Very simple, doesn't cost you a lot of money. So we already went over business card networking, social media. Anybody else got one for me?
Open house.
Open house, that's a huge one. Who did an open house last week? 1, 2, all right. Well, open houses are worth money. Lots of money. Does anybody not have any business right now? You can just go. Okay, perfect. All right, so this is a perfect way to get business. Open houses are open finally. People want to go out and they want to go see homes. Now, you want to do it in a safe manner. Now, that's called adaptation. In any business, you need to adapt. Adaptation. Here, hold on. Okay. Oops. Anyways, that's adaptation. Hand sanitizer, have all that stuff ready for your open house clients. Make them feel safe and that you care. You know, and what's great about this is people think that this is a con, right? They're like, oh man, people aren't going to want to go out. It's so easy to get down on ourselves. Be like, I'm going to put out all these signs. Nobody's going to come. We make all these excuses. Don't make the excuses. Market an open house. Does everybody know how to effectively market an open house? Oh, you guys need to learn, and there'll be a class on that. I'm not teaching it today. So that's something you guys need to do too. Make sure you effectively market that open house. And honestly, has anybody been to a new home build? Yeah? Okay. They don't even actually effectively market those places, and they still get people that come in and buy homes. So pretty much, if you just sit in a house with a couple signs out that says, hey, I'm here, you will get a client. So if you have nothing going on, please schedule those. There's people, I mean, it's been doing it for 50 years. It's no secret how to do an open house. But right now, great opportunity to do it because you haven't been able to do it for a long time. So it's probably going to be a flood of market of people actually trying to go to open houses. I know I drove by this last weekend, and I think there was an open house sign on every single corner. It's like every realtor was just waiting. They're just, everybody was just ready to do it. But no, that is a very good form of tried and true way to get it. So give me another one. What else we got? All right. This is kind of tying to everything here, but a CRM. That's something that I have, I have a CRM. If you guys are starting to make money, or I know, Signature has a CRM. I do use a different CRM. So I'm not exactly familiar with their CRM, but honestly, the best CRM is the one you're using, but make sure you're using one. Especially if you start having, I would say anything more than 30, 40 leads, it's really rough to manage, and your follow-up system is going to be pretty rough. There's some old school ways of handling that as well. I'm not going to be your guy familiar with that. I know people do it, but using index cards and stuff like that. If you need to use that type in your business because maybe you're not really good with technology, or you just can't afford to do any other type of CRM right now, I still highly recommend it because follow-up is huge in this business. Yeah.
I was just going to suggest another thing, kind of goes with networking, but like interest groups, like maybe your school, your kids' sports, your
100%. 100%. That's my, honestly, so, and the reason why I want to bring up, nobody liking cold calling is because I'm that guy too. I have been very successful with calls, but I enjoy being in front of people. I'd rather talk to somebody. I know if I talk to them, I can earn your business. If I'm talking you over the phone, you're not seeing me. So it's kind of, it's an extra barrier for me, and I would actually like networking, but obviously during the last few months, it's been kind of rough. But no, I highly recommend doing that as far as your prospecting is as well. Network groups, anybody heard it? There's like Meetup, Facebook groups. There's so many different groups you can belong to and further expand on that. So I would actually we'll put that over here too, and we'll just put that with groups. But belong to groups. Honestly, back to Facebook. Facebook is something where people just know that you're doing real estate. I want you to stay active on it, but I don't think it's an active place to just find buyers ready, willing, and able to go buy a house right now. It's more to remind your sphere of influence and those people that you still do real estate, because everybody knows the fallout rates in real estate. They're huge. They're like, oh yeah, my brother's cousin's nephew was a real estate agent, and they're gone. Okay, so, but yeah, no, definitely be a part of groups. To elaborate on that too, because there's not as many meeting groups as except for today. Those Facebook groups can be imperative to your business, but also be a part of a community. Does anybody heard of this one called a farm? Does anybody have a farm in here? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. All right. So if you have a farm, does anybody know about the length of time you need to farm a few hundred homes to make it effective for you?
At least 6 months.
6 months? Year? So effectively is actually longer than that. It's 18 months. So it's more of a pipeline way of creating business, but it's definitely a good way to start business. Now, I have another little nugget to try and shorten that length of time. Who farms in their own neighborhood? Yeah, perfect. Okay. If you farm in your own neighborhood, who has the next door app? Well, yeah, okay. Be a part of those apps. There's Facebook groups for your neighborhood. Don't go on there actively selling all the time. Go on there and actually care about people's concerns. They will see your name. When you have a listing come up in the neighborhood, post about the listing. If you have an open house in that neighborhood, post about the open house. You probably just shaved at least 6 to 8 months off of getting your big return back off of your farm. Make sure that you guys are doing that. It's more effective than making a Facebook post for an hour. So does anybody else have another form of prospecting that they enjoy? Anything? Thinking hard about it?
I do a lot of active participation in rescue groups, dog rescue groups.
Okay.
And so I network a lot with them and use that as a form of prospecting, I guess. But
Okay.
that's what I am very active with those, and I use that as another way to
Okay.
kind of combine each other.
Yeah, so yeah, that'll back up. We'll back that up off of the groups as well. I'll go back to cold calls. Is there other forms of calls? FSBOs? Okay. Any others? Verbos. NODs. Expireds. All right, well, I'm going to get you guys fired up for Todd's class, so he can thank me later. But anyways, calling these, is anybody in these rooms called a FSBO? Bingo, bingo, bingo. All right, you? Good. All right, I can't just be my team. Okay, and now you guys are making me feel like I'm oppressing people. All right, how did your for sale by owner calls go?
I've gotten quite a few listings out of them, actually.
Okay. Compared to cold calls, do they answer?
Oh, yeah.
how's the conversation go, between that and cold calls? High energy, low energy?
High energy.
Yeah? Yeah, great. They're actually pretty exciting, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty fun. You know.
I honestly, does anybody, I grew up in an Italian household, okay, so does anybody actually like arguing? Okay, so yeah, it's like a rite of passage in my household growing up. So yeah, you just have arguments to win them, So honestly, I find it kind of kind of fun. You're like, if you can actually convince somebody on the other end of the line that they're wrong by trying to sell their home by themselves. What are the stats of them being able to sell their homes by themselves? Does everybody know it in here? It's very low, right? 2%? Right. You have a very low success rate. Statistics say you're going to list your house. Okay? I want to be the first guy in the door. So how's today, between 4 and 5 o'clock? Can I meet you then? No? Oh, great. Well, let's go back and we'll just go back into the script that I'm going to keep reading to you. But honestly, those calls are actually kind of fun, and they're exciting, and they're high energy. I'm going to tell you guys right now, because I want everybody in this room to create a schedule. Everybody in this room this week, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Actually, let's get a jump on it. Starting today, I want everybody in this room to prospect for at least 1 hour. If you guys need cold calling numbers or other ideas, I can help you out with some of the, if you need those lists, you don't have a title rep or anybody or systems to get it to you, come to me today. This is like a one-time thing. Don't come to me every week. But come to me today and I'll help you out with those lists and get you guys, get the ball rolling. Honestly, you need to create a schedule. So today, 1 hour. Friday, I'm going to do 3 hours. Everybody has that time available because we're realtors, and we have some flexibility in our schedule. Now, what happens all the time too, I'm going to go back to being busy. Once you actually have this, I want you to create 3 days a week where I'm prospecting at least 2 to 3 hours. Okay? That's a very a very easy goal to achieve for everybody, and a good way to hold ourselves accountable to it. So I don't care if it's morning, day, night, not late night, but morning, day, night, you need to schedule a time for yourself to start prospecting. Another one that we don't have up here is door knocking, which I'm going to kind of feed off of open house too. So door knocking is kind of old school, but it works. It's actually, which I'll give you another nugget into that open house marketing plan, very good tool if you're doing an open house. All right, so I went on next door, my farm. I have a open house scheduled this Saturday. I'm going to be there between 11 and 3, and I'm going to go door knock that neighborhood 2 days prior, or maybe what I call is a soft knock. Has everybody heard of a soft knock before? No? So soft knock for me is if I'm trying to knock out a large area of homes and I have a low amount of time. So maybe I had a showing come up or anything else like that. My door knock, my hard door knock, goes to a soft knock. I will go flyer every single door, and if I come into contact with anybody or I notice somebody's at the door, then I'll knock, and then I'll make that. I won't contact every single door and sit there because it takes too much time. But I hit every door. I left a flyer letting everybody know that I have an open house there coming in 2 days. Okay, I'm on Nextdoor app. I'm also going to push that on my Nextdoor app in my farm. Hey guys, having an open house, giving out coronavirus cookies this weekend. If you guys would like to come in, check out. Honestly though, have fun with it. People have humor. The people that don't have humor probably don't want them as your client. I don't. That's, and I will say that's what, another side nugget of this business that I love about it is you get to pick your clientele. Great. Does anybody like working with that guy who wants to go see houses at 9:30 o'clock at night? And, oh no, if you can't go now, then I can't work with you. All right. Well, I have a couple other people who may be willing to do that, but it's not me, sir. Respect your time, I'd rather have those people that have the sense of humor and are more relatable to me. And that's who I choose to keep in my business. Everybody else is welcome to that guy. So another, like, just, yeah, I know I'm getting off subject again, but yeah, door knocking is definitely a powerful tool. Another good one to get more business. Now, has anybody been in an open house where, all right, it's been about an hour. They did really good with the paint color in here. Yeah. Anytime now, anybody can show up, right? I'm waiting. All right. Now, I have a rule, never do an open house by yourself. A lot of agents are kind of adverse to this sometimes. They're like, I want all the leads. If you do it correctly, there's plenty of leads to share. But doing it correctly to me is having at least 2 agents in the house. It's also protective, protects everybody. But the other thing that I like to do is, what do I do if you're at an open house, Yessie, and it's dead?
Couple different things, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But one is cold call. For one, that's the neighborhood or your CRM to make sure that you can get business. You can tell people in your CRM about the house, especially if it's a house that might fit their criteria, and let them know, like, hey, I'm doing this today. Another, if you have 2 people, is one goes ahead and door knocks the neighborhood. Like, hey, we have this, your neighbor's house right here for sale. We're doing open house, we want to come by and see it. Neighbor's nosy.
They could be both. Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's a great opportunity to do that. There's no reason for you not to be prospecting inside of your open house, which is prospecting. If you don't have people actively in there, what should you be doing? Prospecting. That's what you did this for. Now I can have multiple lines of prospecting. Now, my Facebook users, now's a good time to also
Do a live video, post on Facebook.
Perfect. Did you get that one, Beta? Yep. Okay. Go live. Put it on Facebook. You want everybody to see that you're there. Hey, you know what? Friends, family, who I don't care, brothers, cousins, my people I haven't talked to in 5 years. Hey, here I am. I'm selling this house. Come check it out. What are you guys doing? You guys want to check this out? Come check out the pool. Whatever it is, go live. Get people's attention. It's another good one to get yourself out there. People are afraid to market themselves. You'll post stuff all day on Facebook. Hey, look at this meme. But when it actually matters, like at an open house, we're not posting. Post a live video. Post photos. Do a boosted post. Do those type of things to also use the social media in your favor, because now you're actively marketing something tangible where you can get people interested and you're there. The other way, does anybody know another reason why I always have 2 agents in an open house?
If somebody finds another house down the street, one can stay there and the other one can go down the street and show them.
Perfect. And back to nosy neighbors, who's been in an open house and Sandy next door has to just come on by. Hey, just wanted to see the floor plan, whatever it is. But then you have a talk with Sandy and you're like, oh, really? We're getting this amount, we're getting this amount for the house. Yeah, this is the comps, like, oh, really? Wow, I wonder what my house is worth. Good question, Sandy. You know what? Let's go over to your house right now. Let's take some notes on it and, maybe we can see what your house is worth. I leave. Okay. Hey, Yessie. See you later. I'm going to be back with the listing agreement. Bye. Yeah. Honestly, you get listings out of open houses. Who wants a listing agreement out of an open house? I do. What's more powerful than a buyer lead? A listing lead. So, yeah, everybody wants a listing lead. How can you do that if you're in an open house by yourself? You can't. Yeah, I'm going to lock the door. Now whoever told you to do the open house or the seller, then they're all upset with you. So yeah, always bring a partner with you. You guys can make it busy enough to actually make that effective. All right. Grab this back again. We already talked about calling. Oh, so another thing I'll say too is if you guys are going to start with calls, and we'll bring this back to Todd's day, one of the things that I do, this is a little tidbit for me, I start with the easy calls. Okay, I shake off my rust. A lot of people will do, they'll practice with another agent and go over scripts with one another before they go on. I don't. I'm one of those guys where I just jump in the pool, because if I don't, it's just wasting more prospecting time. I'm not gonna, if I start script talking and I'm not knocking it, obviously you should do that in the beginning, but I'm one of those people, I learn on the fly. So I'm never gonna get out of my comfortability zone unless I just get out in front of all you people and start talking, and that's just how it is. Same thing on the phones. If I don't pick up the phone and start talking to somebody, I'm not gonna get over my fear of the phone. We all have a fear of the phone for some reason. It's just, yeah, I'm looking to sell real estate. Just get it out on the first couple cold calls. Then move up to FSBOs, expireds, FURBOs, NODs, all of those. That's something I would tell you guys to do. That's my little tidbit on that. Another thing that we didn't bring up, texting campaigns. Who gets annoying texts that say, please vote for me? Yeah, I get those all the time too. But they are effective. So there are a lot of texting programs out there. Legally, make sure everybody can stop and end the text with you. You'll get a lot of angry people, but it is effective marketing and it does work. You can use it for your open house. You can use it for your farm. You can use it for all types of different scenarios. Now, video, that's another one I want to touch on too, since we're doing a live video now. Has everybody heard of like BombBomb? Yeah? Okay, BombBomb's a video marketing program. They actually use it here at Signature. Whenever you get an email to your email, it has a video in it, and you can actually see somebody there. Great tool if you're actually going to talk to your clients. A little bit more powerful. You can actually, they have services where you can text a video, or a picture. I feel like that's more effective than just sending plain text to people. Some CRMs have that feature as well, where you can text video, you can text a property, you can feature different things. Do that in your marketing. That's another way to prospect. Hey, we're having an open house. Everybody, take a look at this picture. Now, if you just say, hey, in text, hey, 1234 Main Street, we're having an open house this weekend, 4 to 6. Your feedback's going to be less, and you're probably just going to get people getting all angry with you. If you send a website link and you send a picture of the house, now they're a little bit interested. If you have a CRM that has tracking on it, and they click on it, and then they sign up, you just got another lead. So that's something that I would tell you guys to all implement in your business as well. Taking those leads and using them. But I think I touched on most of my prospecting that I actively use in my business. There is probably there's a ton of different ways of prospecting in this business, and there's one that's at the comfortability level of everybody in this room. You can prospect with meeting people in person, over the phone, through a text, through an email, knocking on their door, showing up at social events. You are your own walking billboard, but it's up to you to put that billboard up every day, and you need to. So 2 to 3 hours, I would say at least 3 days a week would be everybody in this room. Does everybody know what block scheduling is? You schedule a block out every day. I'm going to do this for this many hours. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you have no business, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Honestly, you need to, because that is your whole business. And get out there, mix it up. Don't make it boring. Nobody likes the same old thing, okay? But we are creatures of habit, and it's up to you to create better habits. The best habit is starting. That is the best habit. And then if you keep that ball rolling, you'll realize, hey, you know what? I have no excuse in the world to not be selling homes, because I've been doing everything correctly. And that's it. All this business is prospecting and building relationships. Once you do that, it all comes back to you. That's about it I have for you guys today. I'm going to open up the floor to any questions.
What do you think about YouTube channels?
I'm sorry?
YouTube channels.
YouTube channels.
Is that a good idea?
That is a great, honestly, video. So if you're comfortable doing videos, 100%, that is a great way to prospect. I wouldn't make that my only way of prospecting because that also takes some time to develop, but that is a great way to prospect. There's nothing wrong. TikTok, people get stuff off of TikTok. I mean, I got the dance moves, but I don't know if it's going to get me business. But hey, I'm open. Let's try it.
So how many do you recommend? A good idea, like 2, 3 type of prospecting, like open houses, videos, and
Honestly,
how many?
you should be mixing this up all the time. So you need to do every single one on this list. If you haven't done this on this list, you need to try it. Just because you haven't tried it doesn't mean, you think you might not like it, but you'll be surprised. Sometimes we're sick and twisted and we really love the thing that we thought we hated. So, yeah.
I think you should have 5 of those things actively working in your business at all times.
Okay.
Like you just said, maybe there's things that you won't like, but you got to get to a point where you're ready on a daily basis to do all 5 of them. Nothing's worse than going on a listing appointment that when you drive across town and you get a call 30 minutes and you're going to be early and you get a call that says, hey, I got to cancel, I got to come to work. Now you've got an hour and a half in your calendar for a listing appointment or an hour. Are you just going to forget about that hour and waste it? Or if you had 5 of those things ready to do at any given time, you could literally pull into the next subdivision, no matter where you are, and go door knocking. You could literally open your phone and find a vacant home in the area and do a pop-up open house for an hour. I mean, there's things that you can be prepared to do with the drop of a hat. I don't know how many times my team has said, we're going to go door knocking on Wednesday, and they wake up on Wednesday, and guess what? It's raining. They're not going door knocking. So now they have nothing to do for the rest of the day. They do because they have 4 other things to pick from. So it's about being prepared to do any of these things, and I think the magic number is 5 at any given time.
Yeah, and I would say piggyback off of that, change. Things change. Just like you said, it's raining. All right, we'll change with it. Again, phone calls, doesn't matter if it's raining, get on the phone. The other thing, back to block scheduling, if you're block scheduling yourselves and you have a buyer, right? Hey, Zach, I need to go see houses tomorrow during your scheduled block time at 9 o'clock. What do you do, Zach? Don't fail me.
Rearrange things. Or you can tell them, hey, I have an appointment during that time and make it a priority. Like, hey,
100%.
this is my process.
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and reschedule that appointment. If it does absolutely not work, I will turn things around, but I will change my block. And that's why it's a scheduling block. It's movable, but just remember, you don't want to keep putting it off. Okay? It's important to not keep moving it. And then also, if you're not really busy in your business and someone asks you to go see a house tomorrow at 9 a.m., it looks a lot better if you actually say, I have an appointment between that time. Could we change it to this? It actually sounds better. It sounds like you're working. So to me, in personal experience, most people will be like, oh, yeah. And then they actually respect you more as a realtor. You're like, oh, this guy is not just waiting on me. He has lots of other business going on, even if you don't. Hey, I had a block schedule at a time for me to make those calls. It's very important to me. I need to make those calls. And it's easy when you're busy to try to keep putting that off.
Well, let's be clear. What's the difference between busy and productive?
Right.
I can be busy all day long, but
Yeah.
am I productive? And I think what's important about your class today is that these are ways that you can be productive and make money. There's lots of ways to be busy, right? We're all busy. Is there anybody in here that isn't busy? No, we're all busy. But the point is, time blocking causes productivity, and you need things to do during that time block. And as Zach just said, when you have to rearrange your schedule, it's a block and it gets moved somewhere else. It doesn't just get thrown away. Like if you can't prospect from 9 to 11 like you planned, you've got to do something else, there's no way around it, and that time gets moved to 3 to 5 in the afternoon or wherever you can move it in the day. It's called erasing and replacing. If you erase something, it has to be replaced. Or your business This does exactly what Brandon explained at the very beginning of this, and that's this, right? You got a lot of business, oh my gosh, I'm busy, and then all of a sudden you have nothing, and then all of a sudden you're busy. So continually prospecting consistently keeps your business at more of a level plane. And hopefully it's like this, right? So it's going up. But that's time blocking and having a schedule is hugely important.
It is. That is the lifeline to prospecting is your lifeline, and scheduling is your tool to make it happen. So, yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? Yeah.
What CRM do you use?
I use Commissions Inc., which is Sync.
I'm sorry, what?
Sync. It's Commissions Inc. It's a good tool. I know other agents use it as well. But honestly, it's whatever. As long as you're using a CRM, that's all that really matters. I don't care what brand it is. Half of you guys have Android phones and half of you guys have iPhones, and we can argue about that later. Honestly, it's the one that you feel most comfortable with and you use. Features obviously matter, but at the same time, a lot of them will have a lot of similar features, but you got to make sure you're using it. And that's something I put into my time blocking, and I put that into my teammates' time blocking. And they probably hate me telling them this all the time, but what's the first thing I tell you guys to do?
CRM.
Call your CRM. Follow up. It's gold. It really is.
And where do you get your call list from? Do you get it from Title or do you buy it?
So personally, I use the RedX, which is Vortex, and that's how I pull all my lists, FSBOs, expireds, geo calls. I pull all that from them. You can get them from the title company as well. I just feel that the information that I get from them is just better. Now, some title companies are actually using the same information, but you want to actually check with your title rep on that and make sure you're getting the right information.
So for cold calling, have you ever encountered the do not call list number?
Yeah. So, am I still live? All right. I'm just gonna go out and say it. I call all those numbers. I'm one of those people where I kind of just ask.
Why would you call all those numbers instead of do not call? Because there's less competition.
Right.
All of you are not calling.
Right.
Simply, that's the answer.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people who ask for forgiveness. Oh, sorry, I will not call you back. Done.
Just be super nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know I got your number mixed up, and hang up.
That's me.
Get all crappy.
I will call those numbers all day. I think everybody registered on that list at one time. Most of you guys probably are on there. And how many of you guys still get telemarketing calls in every other single call in the book? Have any of you guys gone after any of those people? I'm on the do not call list. My phone went off 4 times while we were here. I'm sure 2 of them were spam calls. Honestly, I don't have time in my day to go report those people, and I wouldn't personally. I don't worry about that. Do you have a question? Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
From start to finish on an average workday, what does your schedule look like?
Oh, geez. Okay. I'll touch on the prospecting part. Okay, most of my business now is all sphere of influence. So I make sure that I reach out, and I'll give you a good tidbit. If you do not have a CRM, make sure that you're reaching out to. Told everybody, make sure you have a sphere of influence list. If you're a new agent, an older agent, somewhere in the middle agent, if you don't have a sphere of influence list, you're doing yourself a disservice. There's a lot of agents out there. I know a lot of agents that have been in this business for a very long time, have sold probably hundreds of houses over their career, and they don't have any return business, and they're still actively prospecting. It's because they do not take care of their sphere of influence. Take care of your sphere of influence. All those people will come back to you. You might lose 1 or 2, but you're not going to lose all of them like a lot of agents do. They'll just keep actively prospecting. Okay, deal's done. Didn't really, all right, never talk to you again. Bye. And then you're like, oh, but why didn't you call me when you're going to sell? And I haven't talked to you in 3 years. You got to maintain those relationships. One that was given to me is go by everybody alphabetically. by their last name, or I guess you could probably do their first name too, but it's probably going to be heavy on one end. But go by them. Hey, I'm going to call every A in my list this week. I'm going to call every B in my list next week, and hold yourself accountable to that in your sphere of influence. And there's, 26 letters in the alphabet, 52 weeks in the year. Let's do the math on that. You called everybody twice, right? All right. You probably could double that up a little bit because certain letters are going to be low. But honestly, that's a way to make sure you're touching everybody in your sphere of influence, and it's free. So if you guys need to use something that is free and doesn't cost you like everything does in this business, that's a really good tool to implement for your sphere of influence. Any other questions? Yeah.
Does yourself or your team use like a multi-dialer, or do you just individually call numbers?
So I use, it's RedX Vortex. I use their Vortex dialer. I would say, and our CRM actually has a dialer in it too. Funny enough, the dialer in our CRM nobody uses, but people use Vortex. It's one of those things where, yes, it does make, if you're gonna just do calls, it's definitely worth, it's gonna be probably the cheapest thing that you buy that'll be a great tool in your business, but you have to use the tool. If you don't use the tool, it's a waste of money. So I have that open to every agent on my team. Some people love the dialer, some people don't. Some people like going one through one. I like using the dialer personally because I don't want to sit there and keep dialing phone numbers. But no, I would say dialers are a great tool. You get a lot more done within that time. So the national average, I believe, too, is like, it's somewhere between 70 and 100 touches. You get a lead out of it. So, and that's just with cold calls. So, I would say if you guys don't have any leads, it's the cheapest way to go out and get leads. There's actually an agent that used to work here. That's all he would do. He would sit on a dialer all day, and all he would do is sit in this little freezer box that we had as an office when we first opened this place, and he would just make phone calls, and he got business out of it. He would go from having no clients, sit in there for 2 days in his refrigerator, and come back out with 3 or 4 clients. He'd have 2 listings, and he'd have a couple buyers on the hook. Honestly, it works. If you have no business, it might be monotonous. You have to make it fun. We're in sales, so you got to be happy every day you wake up. And I will build on that too. If you want to wake up write your goals down, and I know there's a lot of coaching products out there that will tell you this, but gratitude is another thing that, say things that you're grateful for every morning. It actually builds a positive mindset. And keeping a positive mindset in a sales business is imperative. If you have negativity or negative people in your life, you need to remove yourself from them because it's not good for your business. Any other questions? There you go.
What advice do you have for someone who's brand spanking new to this industry, like myself, who just got their license 2 days ago?
2 days ago? Yeah. Congrats. Yeah. First, I'm going to jump right back into this bad boy right here. Sphere of influence. You need to create a list of everybody that you know. Everybody needs to know that you're a realtor now. Don't just do a Facebook post. That's the easy way out. You need to actually contact people on an individual basis and just ask them what their housing situation is. And I'd love to help you. Do you have any questions about the market? If you were to move, why? People don't ask that in this business. Why? What would make you move? Why do you want to move? People ask questions and build that. I would talk to every single person that you know, because you'll be surprised. Your first sale's probably in the group of people not exactly out there. So those ones are a lot easier to work with your first time around because you have some type of personal relationship with them. Yep. Yeah, of course. Anybody else? Yeah.
That little booklet with the scripts.
Yeah.
Are you willing to share that?
Yeah, I can email it to you. No problem. Yeah, just give me a card before you go, and I'll shoot it over to you. No problem. Maybe you can use it in Todd's class. So Todd's got a class next week at 4. Call night?
Yeah, so it's gonna be a prospecting night. We're going to spend 2 hours doing one of those activities. You get to pick what you want to do and how you want to do it. We're gonna do it for 2 hours and see what the results are. If you don't have people to call, I'll have people you can call. And I'll just tell you who those people are. It's somebody who signed up on my website since September of 2017 till today. I've got about 18,000 of those people, so I'll be happy to share 100 of those people with each of you, and you can get on the phone and call them. If nothing else, you can just get some experience calling people that you don't know, because I got to tell you, it's going to be uncomfortable the first few times, but we'll be here to support you with scripts. We'll be here to support you with answers to your questions, to your immediate problems. We'll get all that solved, and it'll just be a couple of hours. I suppose somebody will bring food. I don't know that will be, but
And drinks? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
next Wednesday at 4, right here.
Okay.
So if you have some specific kind of lead gen that you want to do, that you've been wanting to try, but you didn't really know how to do it, let's schedule it for that time. Bring that with you, and then I'll be here and bounce around and help people do certain things. So don't not come because you don't have numbers. I have more numbers than I'll ever know what to do with. Don't not come because you don't know what to do, because when you get here, we'll figure out what that looks like. Now, let me just say this: if the phone is so heavy that you can't pick it up and put it to your ear, you need to come to this. Because even if in 2 hours you only make one phone call to somebody you don't know, that's getting started in the process. It's a hard process to get started. I tell everybody the same thing. Sorry, I cannot talk with this anymore. I tell everybody that when you start cold calling people that you don't know, you're going to screw up the first 100 of them. You know what's really cool about the phone? You can just hang up.
Yeah.
They're not going to call you back. Hey, you just hung up on me. Like if it's so bad that you just go, I don't even know what to say, and I'm flooded, just hang up. Cool, we'll regroup, we'll talk about it, we'll hug, whatever you need, but we'll get on to the next call, right? But you're going to mess up the first 100. But once you've done 100 of them, you're going to be pretty good at it. And once you get pretty good at it, and I think Brandy will back me up on this, because we've been through this together, and it is torturous, the first call, the second call,
Yeah.
the 10th call. By the 30th call, man, that wasn't so bad, right? By 100, now it's a daily activity, right? And she's taking listings and she's doing things because she's been doing that. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you on the bus like that. I mean, it's a real thing. This phone weighs 1,000 pounds if you're afraid to make that call. And that's okay. Let's just make one of those calls, and then it'll just get better from there. That's what next week will be about, and then the week following will be about how to stay in touch with those people. And it's going to be a little bit about CRMs. If you don't have a CRM, no judgment here, but what the hell are you doing? You're in the real estate business. You need a CRM. There's free ones that don't cost a dime. You just have to dedicate your time to use them. And I know some of you are going to say, well, I don't know how to use them. Great, we're going to work on that. We'll figure that out for you. There's some, Brandon, do you want to say how much you pay for Sync? I mean, you didn't say this, but Sync is literally one of the 2 most expensive CRMs out there.
I try not to look at my bill, so.
It's, you don't want to look at it, right? When I used Sync, and I used to use Sync, it was about $1,900 a month. It was expensive. It's awesome. It does everything. It's the Rolls Royce of CRMs. And if you don't use it, it's no better than a moped. Like if you use one little feature that it has, then you just might as well go buy the moped, because you don't use all of it. And as a team owner, and I think Brian will say, we struggle because everybody on the team, if you got 10 people, they all want to use different bells and different whistles. Nobody wants to do it the same way, so you have to have a variety, which causes have that kind of. But as an individual agent, you don't. I mean, there's CRMs up there that are $30 a month that have so many bells and whistles you can't use all of them, but they'll make your business grow faster. And that's what this is about. It's about making your business grow faster. It will grow over time if you're just playing with it every single day, but you've got to have a CRM. We're going to talk about that. If you have one, you don't know how to use it, you have questions, that'll be the time to bring those questions and we'll get all those answered.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. You need to have a CRM. You know, if you just have a notepad with a bunch of scribbles all over it, then it won't work for you. You gotta have it all in the CRM.
The smallest one is an Excel spreadsheet, right? Like that's the least expensive. Everybody can have an Excel spreadsheet with columns, right? Name, email, phone number, last time I contacted them, next time I need to contact them, whatever that looks like. And that essentially is what a CRM is. They're just a little prettier and a little bit easier to use.
But
They feed back to you rather than you have to extract information from the spreadsheet.
yeah, very clean cut, less squiggly lines throughout it. Yeah, but yeah, I would say definitely, guys, the biggest, like, basically everything I gave you, these are all the tennis shoes. Just put them in front of your bed tonight. That's it. First thing you wake up in the morning, I'm going to hit this tomorrow. And just start. That's all it is. Just start. You will have business. You will close deals. You will close lots of deals. The more you do, the more you'll close.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.